There's a family in Africa whose wealth makes Elon Musk look middle class. While the world obsesses over tech billionaires and oil tycoons, this family has been quietly accumulating more money than most people can comprehend. Their net worth? Over $400 billion. That's not a typo. But here's what will really blow your mind. They've managed to stay almost completely hidden from the public eye. No Forbes lists, no magazine covers, no social media presence. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 3 things that will change everything you thought you knew about wealth. First, how they built an empire that touches your life every single day without you knowing it. Second, the shocking reason they've kept their fortune secret for decades. And third, why their story might be the most important lesson about money you'll ever hear. Let me show you exactly how this happened. We need to go back to 1929. While America was crashing into the Great Depression, a small family in South Africa was making a decision that would echo through generations. The Oppenheimer family wasn't just buying gold mines. They were buying something far more valuable: diamonds. But they didn't just want to mine diamonds. They wanted to control every single diamond on Earth. And incredibly, they almost succeeded. This isn't ancient history gathering dust in a textbook. Right now, as you watch this video, their decisions from nearly a century ago are affecting the price of engagement rings in shopping malls across the world. They built something unprecedented. A monopoly so complete that it made Standard Oil look like a lemonade stand. The patriarch, Ernest Oppenheimer, had a vision that seemed impossible. He wanted to own the entire diamond supply chain, from the African soil to the jewelry stores in New York and Paris. Here's the wild part. For most of the 20th century, they actually did it. Now here's where things get really interesting. The Oppenheimer family didn't just mine diamonds. They created the entire modern diamond industry from scratch. Before them, diamonds were just pretty rocks that rich people occasionally bought. They had some value, sure, but nothing compared to gold or other precious metals. Then came the most brilliant marketing campaign in human history. In 1947, a copywriter working for the Oppenheimers' De Beers company wrote 4 words that would generate trillions of dollars. A diamond is forever. Think about that for a second. They convinced the entire world that you needed to spend months of salary on a compressed piece of carbon to prove your love. They made it a social requirement. Suddenly, getting married without a diamond ring became unthinkable. But the genius didn't stop there. They controlled the supply so tightly that they could make diamonds seem rare, even though they're actually one of the most common gemstones on Earth. They had warehouses full of diamonds but released them slowly, like water from a dam, keeping prices artificially high for decades. At their peak, De Beers controlled 85% of the world's rough diamond supply. That's not a business. That's a kingdom. The family's wealth exploded. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. While everyone focuses on their diamond empire, the Oppenheimer family was playing a completely different game behind the scenes. They quietly diversified into gold, platinum, copper, and iron ore. They became the largest private employers in Africa. Their mining operations stretched across South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and beyond. But here's what nobody talks about. They also controlled the infrastructure, the roads that carried the minerals, the railways, the ports, the security forces that protected everything. They built entire towns from nothing, towns that existed solely to support their mining operations. Workers lived in company houses, bought food from company stores, and sent their children to company schools. It was an ecosystem designed to extract maximum wealth from African soil. The numbers are staggering. Anglo-American, their primary company, employed over 130,000 people at its height. Their operations generated more revenue than some countries' entire economies. But the really shocking part? They managed all of this while maintaining what can only be described as obsessive privacy. Unlike modern billionaires who seem addicted to attention, the Oppenheimers perfected the art of being invisible. No reality TV shows, no Twitter feuds, no flashy superyachts photographed in Monaco. They understood something that today's wealthy seem to have forgotten. True power doesn't need to announce itself. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. The Oppenheimer fortune isn't just about what they built. It's about what they survived. During apartheid in South Africa, they navigated one of the most morally complex business environments imaginable. They profited enormously from a system built on racial oppression, yet they also employed hundreds of thousands of black South Africans and were among the first major companies to publicly oppose apartheid policies. This contradiction reveals something crucial about generational wealth. It's rarely clean. The family's current patriarch, Nicky Oppenheimer, sold De Beers to Anglo American for over $5 billion in 2012. But that wasn't cashing out. That was consolidating. The family retained massive stakes in the mining operations while shifting their wealth into investments across 6 continents. They own conservation land larger than some countries. They've invested in everything from African agriculture to European luxury brands. Their private investment firm manages billions with almost zero public scrutiny. Today's estimated family wealth exceeds $400 billion when you account for all their direct holdings, indirect investments, and assets held through various trusts and companies. That's more than Elon Musk's peak net worth. More than Jeff Bezos. More than Bill Gates and Warren Buffett combined. So what does all this mean for us today? The Oppenheimer story reveals an uncomfortable truth about how real wealth works. We're distracted by celebrity billionaires making headlines while the truly wealthy operate in shadows. The Oppenheimers represent old money's ultimate evolution. Invisible, diversified, and embedded so deeply in global systems that their wealth has become almost impossible to track or challenge. Their diamond monopoly may have weakened, but they've already moved on to the next century's valuable resources. They're investing heavily in African renewable energy, water rights, and agricultural technology. They understand that future fortunes will come from controlling what people desperately need, not what they want. This matters to you personally because it shows how wealth inequality isn't just about numbers. It's about power structures built over generations. When one family controls resources that millions depend on, they shape entire societies. The engagement ring on your finger, the gold in your electronics, the platinum in your car's catalytic converter. There's a good chance the Oppenheimer empire touched those materials before they reached you. The broader lesson here is profound. Wealth at this level isn't really about money anymore. It's about influence, control, and legacy. While we argue about millionaires and their taxes, families like the Oppenheimers operate on a completely different plane of existence. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. The most shocking part of this story isn't how much wealth they accumulated. It's how they managed to keep it for nearly a century while most wealthy families lose everything within 3 generations. Their secret? They never stopped thinking generations ahead. They didn't splurge on yachts and mansions when they could buy mines and infrastructure. They didn't seek fame when they could build power. They understood that the greatest luxury isn't spending money. It's having so much that spending becomes irrelevant. The Oppenheimer family proves that the wealthiest people on Earth aren't the ones you read about in magazines. They're the ones who make sure you never hear their names. And that might be the most valuable lesson about money anyone could learn. The real question is, how many other families like this exist, quietly controlling pieces of our world while we scroll through social media watching tech billionaires play with rockets? The answer might surprise you even more than this story did.